Sup, Rotten? I recently hit 25,000 subscribers, and what better way to celebrate it than to answer some of your burning questions I got from you guys through social media. Feel free to follow me on all the social media links in the description below, and let's get to answering. Also, double check if you're subscribed to me or not. Most likely, you forgot to, but I forgive you for now. How many worms and other insects are living in you? Because like rotten apples get critters in them. That's racist. Are you a dog or cat person? I grew up being a dog person, but now I'm leaning more towards cats. They are a lot less maintenance than a dog and very clean. All you gotta do is feed them, clean their poop, and give them attention. Oh, and accept the fact that everything you own holds little to no significance to them, and that everything that can knock over will knock over. And you'll be fine. I'm the kind of person who can only ask silly dumb questions, so Burger King or McDonald's? Are we talking freshly made? Then McDonald's. If not, Burger King. How to switch off auto download on WhatsApp application on macOS. What? Hey man, do I look like Google to you? Don't look at me. I get things wrong from time to time. Oh, well, I guess Google does now too, huh? I see that I got a few questions asking if I got a Blue Sky and a Discord server, and the answer is yes. I made one to grab my name, but I plan to be more active on there, so follow me. As for Discord, I've had a server for a couple months, but I've been holding out on making it public for a variety of reasons. The main one is that I'm not super social, and I would feel bad if I had a Discord server that I wasn't extremely active in, you know? I just want to make sure it's done right, and that includes on my part. But if you guys don't mind talking amongst yourselves for the most part, let me know in the comments and I'll release it. The second question I'll be answering pretty soon, but to the last question, how do I balance? I don't. If you can only use one piece of tech for the rest of your life, what would it be? Honestly, I would have to say the MacBook Pro. On top of it just being the best laptop ever made in my opinion, it consistently allows me to be as creative as I want to be. And I can't let that go. What made you a Mac user? I'm glad you asked, because I'm currently working on a video that explains just that. What do you find the coolest about macOS and what annoys you of macOS? Y'all should listen to this guy. The coolest thing about macOS would probably have to be the fact that I can have the app called Magic Menu by iBoysoft, the sponsor of this video. The most annoying thing about macOS is that it has very few right-click functions. On Windows, you can simply right-click on the desktop to get many shortcut functions. But with macOS, not so much. But with a quick Magic Menu install, users can now bridge the gap, officially giving your right click the much needed upgrade like create new files, cut files, and copy files with just one click, completely uninstalled software with one click, hide and move files, quick access to image format conversions, quick access to frequently used paths, complete file deletion, right click menu customization, and so much more. And on top of that, you can even install extensions to further power up your right click even more. I personally use the convert image format feature every day, as it's something that I do daily, and the ease of having it conveniently placed with just a click of my mouse saves me so much time. So if this fantastic app interests you, feel free to check it out in the description below, and shout out to iBoysoft for sponsoring this video. So to address the home screen comments, you guys really showed out with the support on my last home screen video. It was a great birthday gift for sure. And honestly, if you guys keep supporting those videos, I'll definitely just keep making more. I have endless submissions for future videos, so I can just keep going. It is a ton of work combing through them, but it's the least I can do in exchange for all the love. Thank you. In terms of when the next one will be, I would like to have them spaced out between every few uploads, but I do plan to upload pretty frequently this month, so it's very likely that you'll get one later in December. If not, definitely early next month for sure. Also, I've seen comments asking me to show my home screen, so here it is, I guess. My lock screen is iPod themed. Shout out to the iPod squad out there. And here's my home screen. Yep. What you see is what you get. My wallpaper is literally the wallpaper I have in my videos, and I only have one page with two widgets on it. One to keep up with my device's batteries, and my Things app widget where I like to keep track of my to-do lists, mainly for videos. And you know, blurred to avoid spoilers, of course. I exclusively just use my docked apps in the app drawer. I practice what I preach, people. Now rate my setup in the comments. Honest opinion on Windows, rotten window when? Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent about Windows, as I feel like I've never really locked in with it like I should have, because I used to find it so frustrating to use. However, I am aware that most people who watch me here are Windows users, believe it or not. So if you want more Windows-based content, let me know what I should cover. Thoughts on Linux? I don't know much about Linux to form a strong enough opinion on it, but I'd like to explore that one day for sure. I know the Steam Deck runs on Linux, and I think the Steam Deck is sick. Are you a Samsung or Apple/iOS person? Take a wild guess. I was a huge fan of Samsung phones though, until they started making them look more like iPhones. This may be a rotten take, but I loved it when Samsung did curved edges. I know. It was so cool. Sup, Ryan? What was your first Mac and or iPhone? My first Mac was a 2012 base model MacBook Air, and my first iPhone was the iPhone 4S. What got you into using Apple products, and this would definitely be a no? Would you switch to the alternative if given the opportunity? So I have a video coming soon answering exactly how I got into using Apple products. If you like the little animated skits I do on some videos, then you like this video, as I plan to make the entire video like that. And in terms of switching, I don't see why not. If any companies want to swing me their phone for review, I'm down. I'll do a day in the life, week in the life. I'll go for a month of just using that phone if it's interesting enough. A thought on Apple Intelligence, gimmick or real need? Honestly, in the state that it's in at the moment, it's kind of walking a fine line between gimmicky and genuine use. Hopefully with future updates, we'll get more out of it, but right now it's just kind of like, but it's still new, you know, so I'm gonna give it some time. Thoughts on jailbreaking phones? I'm all for it. I've seen so many sick jailbroken iPhone home screen submissions, guys. Keep it up. Also, this person is actually a really good friend of mine and a fantastic artist and storyteller. So if you're into badass shonen women in webtoons, I highly recommend you check out her comic, link in the description. I read a while ago that the issue isn't about how you use the device, but rather how the company expects you to use its devices. For example, most people feel frustrated with the new control center, especially the connectivity module that changed on the iPhone. This change led many users to accidentally open AirDrop instead of cellular data. Cellular. Many argued that this frustration stems from us misusing the connectivity module on the iPhone. The company expects you to use it in a specific way, and if you use it differently, it becomes inconvenient. However, if you use it as the company intends, it would supposedly be much easier. My question is, what do you think of this idea? Should we adapt to using our devices the way the company wants us to? Great question. I think for most situations, it should be up to the company to study their users' habits and adapt their product to accommodate that, especially with software. But at the same time, I think it's good to find a healthy balance between that and making something that a lot of people probably won't get right away. I look at software like Final Cut Pro that has such a steep learning curve, especially when you're coming from more traditional NLEs. The magnetic timeline can be the worst thing for people not willing to adapt, but I think it's worth it ultimately. How do you grow your channel so quickly? I've been watching ever since you had like 900 subscribers. Is my channel growing quickly? I can't tell. But I guess to answer your question, start making videos with your own spin and upload frequently. So far, I've uploaded at least once every month since this channel started, and I don't plan on stopping. So yeah, you just gotta be consistent, I guess. That's all I got. I really love the style of your videos. How do you do your videos? Is there a team that helps you out? There's an entire process to making these videos, and every step of it is all done by me. I don't have a team, but I do have friends that I bounce ideas off of sometimes. That's why the support is super impactful, because I wear every hat in the production, from the writing to the drawing to the editing and everything in between. I plan to have a fun video out soon on my process if you guys want a better lens. Hopefully in the future though, I can become big enough to hire a team to help with the production, because there are a lot of moving parts. One day. What made you choose the name Rotten Apple? So the name Rotten Apple has multiple meanings. I guess some of the more obvious ones is the fact that the Rotten Apple design is a rotten apple that mainly makes videos about Apple and their products, whether it's praising them or criticizing them. But it's also because of my unconventional approach to making videos in the tech space, where I tend to have opinions on things that the general audience probably won't agree with, which I deem rotten takes. I also happen to live in New York City, which is the Big Apple. So it kind of all ties into my interests, my personality, and where I'm from. What inspired you to have the Mac OS theme for your videos? The Mac is what initially opened my eyes to my love for tech. And being that Mac OS is the most aesthetically pleasing OS to me, it just kind of seemed like a no-brainer, considering that I was jumping into the tech space and I wanted to stand out. I did, however, take some creative liberties with the Mac OS theming. Like for instance, when images pop up, they don't just appear. They kind of like open very smoothly. It's things like that that makes it a bit more unique. So I look at my video's theme as more of a hacked Mac OS. Rotten OS if you will. My TikToks and shorts are however centered around iOS theming, which I feel is way more fitting for vertical video. What is the jingle that plays at the very end of your videos after the macOS shutdown outro? Ah, so someone noticed. That sound is the crash sound of the Power Macintosh 5200 that was released back in 1995. In case you haven't realized, all my videos are not only macOS inspired, but set within a Mac itself in a way, where there's the boot up, the rest of the video being what is done on the computer, and then the shutdown screen where it ultimately crashes in the end, after I say a bad joke. I love adding little details and stuff like that. I don't think anyone noticed this yet, but at the end of every single video I've made, a certain jingle plays whenever I say, "Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, yada yada yada." Bonus points if anyone could determine where that's from. Will you ever do a face reveal? This question is kinda tough because I see Rotten Apple as his own entity, as he sort of plays as the video's virtual assistant and mascot. I'm definitely not against showing my face, nor do I want to treat it like a grand reveal, cause I'm not a narcissist, but I don't see it as a relevant factor with the channel. Who knows for the future though? Do you have any main inspirations for the design of your character, apart from the obvious Finder icon? Okay, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit about this, so buckle up. Yes, so the main inspiration behind Rotten Apple's design was the Finder icon. But there's a little more to it than that. The Finder icon, in case you didn't know, is supposed to be someone smiling at their Mac screen with the Mac smiling back. I took that concept and flipped it. So instead of the icon being two faces, it's just the face of an apple that's been half eaten and left to rot. Hence why the right side is a lighter brown than the left. It's supposed to simulate the bit in half. Not only that, but Rotten Apple's face is also a screen. So the black area at the top is supposed to be the notch, as well as the pit of the stem, because he's also an apple. Get it? The loose lines in his design are directly inspired by Apple's Picasso-inspired minimal artwork that they would have on the original Macintosh packaging, as well as Jerry and Terry's designs from the Pixar movie Soul. If you haven't watched it, please do. It's fantastic. I always wanted his face facing the viewer because I see him as the OS's mascot or virtual assistant, and that concept I got from Hello Kitty, being as I never really saw her face in any other direction. The cartoony-like body was inspired by the Charlie Brown characters, and his uniform is themed after people you would see working at the Genius Bar. Though I made it red because he's an apple, and red would capture the viewer's attention a lot more than blue would. Also, red's my favorite color. Anyway, Rotten Apple is probably my favorite design character I ever made, in case that wasn't obvious. What or who gave you the confidence to start a YouTube channel? It was quite overdue if I'm being honest. My love for art and animation and my love for tech were always there. I just never thought to combine them. A lot of tech YouTubers inspired me to get into space, like MKBHD, Snazzy Labs, A Better Computer, Siobhan Salmon, etc. But another main reason why I made one was because of this very negative encounter I had with a specific tech YouTuber who I almost worked for. That experience finally lit the fire under me to make my channel and pave my own lane. Maybe I'll get into that story one day. Definitely when I'm much bigger though. What program do you use for your art? Also, what do you use to draw? So for my channel specifically, I mainly do most of my drawings in Toon Boom Harmony. For the times I have time to make custom art thumbnails, I do my sketches in Procreate on my iPad Air 4. I then take those sketches and flush them out in Toon Boom. The tablet I'm currently using is the Cintiq Pro 24, which I still have to make a video about. Stay tuned for that. Do you have more characters? So I plan to introduce more characters into the Rotten multiverse, I guess you can call it, for sure. Being as you guys like the batteries from my charging MacBook video and the banana from the What Your Phone Says About You video. I also want to make stickers with Rotten Apple and these characters. Let me know in the comments if you would buy them. Do you consider yourself an animation channel or tech channel first? Do you find yourself wishing or intending to dive deeper in either aspect of it, or are you satisfied with the current balance? Great question. I am not currently satisfied with the balance of tech and art on the channel, but I plan to remedy that. My art focused and Apple Pencil videos are some of the most popular videos on my channel, and I don't make them enough. So I plan to make more art-based videos. So stay tuned for that too. They do take a lot more time to make, but it's always worth it. So I think that's all the questions I have for today. Any thoughts on the Q&A? Let me know in the comments. And thank you guys a ton for getting me to 25,000 subscribers. I would have never imagined getting so many, and I'm excited for what the future has in store. So subscribe if you haven't already, and if you are subscribed, stay subscribed. And if you'd like early access to Ryan Apple videos long before the public gets to see them, or even a little custom avatar to go along with your name, feel free to support me on Patreon, along with my Ryan and Ryan Pro subscribers, Vasco, Francisco Beck, Sarad Kiri, and Takazma. Thank you all for the support as it keeps me dropping videos consistently, and thank you viewers for watching. If you want to see more of me, you know what to do. A quarter of a way to 100,000 subscribers, man, that's crazy. You know, I hate telling people to subscribe, but according to my analytics, whenever I do, it works. So, everyone, send me $100.